and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, with the City of Hampton's Communications and Marketing Department. And today we're going to talk to a Hampton entrepreneur who runs a business roasting coffee out of his home with his wife. My guest is Will Cury. Welcome, Will.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to tell you a story. I was doing some Christmas shopping in Norfolk at a little specialty gift shop over there, and I ran across Rogue Elephant, and it said it was from Hampton and roasted in Hampton. And I thought, what a cool Christmas gift. So I bought a bunch and gave them to people for Christmas. And then I thought to myself, how weird that I found a Hampton product in Norfolk that I'd never heard of. You guys, and you do this with your wife, are a fairly new business, right?
Yes, about 3 years ago we started.
How did you get into the coffee business? And I know there's a little bit of a trend now of people who want fresher, roasted, and custom blends. So you're not the only one in the region maybe doing this, but how did you get into it?
Just started roasting at home. You know, it starts with you start grinding your own beans.
Right,
and,
okay.
You know, and then you're always searching for different coffee from all over. And you know, found that I could buy as little as a pound of coffee, green beans, online.
Really?
Yeah. And started doing that, and at the time it was a pan over propane gas and a wooden spatula, and roasting about a quarter to half a pound at a time.
Now, how long does that take?
That 8 to 10 minutes, that's a small amount like that.
Okay, so it's like roasting nuts almost right there,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So you did it because you love coffee and wanted to try different techniques or different kinds of roasts or different kinds of beans than you could get.
That's correct. Yes. Once I ran into a roaster, it was like 2004. I know that's actually pretty late considering how long it's been going on. I think Pete's has been doing it since the 60s. And ran into a cafe that roasts their own coffee, and since then was hooked, you know, and wanted to roast my own at home.
It really does, you know, it can make a pretty big difference, the freshness and all that, right?
It does. It does. Once you get yourself used to drinking fresh coffee, you know, you realize that it does make a big difference. And storing it also, how you store your coffee to preserve the freshness makes a big difference also.
So how did you go from roasting in a pan over propane to a commercial operation? A small commercial operation nonetheless,
Very small.
But you know.
I started getting my friends hooked, and one night I did 10 pounds, you know, so that was about 20 batches of coffee in a pan. And so actually I started thinking, I can't do this. This isn't realistic. And my wife's friend told her about a roaster that was for sale in Virginia Beach. So we figured, well, let's go look at it. And went back and forth with the guy for about a year, because part of it's what he was asking. Mm-hmm. And also, did we really want to commit to something like this? I mean, it was the price of a used car. So
wow.
Back and forth, and then finally we just decided, I figured, you know what, I'm going to be drinking coffee. I've got friends that are going to be drinking coffee. I'll buy the roaster. And who cares? We'll just go from there. And once you bought it and realized, you know, let's do a small business on the side for fun, and do local farmers markets and grocery stores and see where it goes.
And that is where I actually met you. Long after I'd bought the first few pounds at the farmers market when Hampton used to have one downtown. Mm-hmm. You and your wife were usually there and could sell you sold cups and the bag coffee as well.
Yeah.
That's nice. So you have now some custom blends that you do and some different kinds, because I remember when I would order, I would have to ask in advance because you guys did different roasts or different blends each week.
Yeah, we typically carry anywhere from 10 different beans, because I like the different varieties you can buy, and they're all, you know, different flavors, so it makes it exciting. We do a couple blends. We have an espresso blend and our house blend.
And your house blend is called?
The Brogdon blend.
And let's talk about why that is.
Well, we actually are located on Brogden Lane in Hampton, and instead of calling it our house blend, we just said Brogden Blend.
Named it after where your house is. That's
yeah,
great.
and it's easy coming up with a name just like that. But we really do focus more on just single origin beans, because this way you can see the difference from Central to South American and African and Indonesian beans.
All right, let me ask you, because you know a whole lot more about coffees, what are some differences? Like those of us who just drink coffee that someone else makes, what would be a characteristic, say, of, I don't know what's popular, Ethiopian or Costa Rican or?
Ethiopian's, probably my favorite. All right, for those Central American coffees, they're typically washed coffee, and that's the process. So the way the coffee is processed is going to affect the flavor also, in addition to where it's grown, how it's grown. So there's a lot that goes into it with your elevation, the farmers, and then the processing. But Central Americans will get you a nice, typically clean, bright coffees. Your African can get you the nice fruity berry. Some, depending on where, like the Kenyans, will get you a nice bright acidic coffee. And then you get into your Indonesian, which are going to be, they have a unique processing, and that'll get you anywhere from a nice earthy, and they're good for taking dark roast, from my experience. Then you can blend them all together and create your own flavor.
That's wonderful. So, I asked you about the Brogden name. How did you come up with Rogue Elephant? Where did that come from?
A lot of, my wife and I could not decide on a name, went forever, and I was watching Animal Planet. And there was a episode on elephants, bull elephants in Africa. And they're just so majestic, and I've always liked elephants because of their memory and their just how smart they are and how family oriented they are.
Oh, that's neat.
So I figured, I'll name it after an elephant.
Okay. So, do you see this becoming a full-time business, or I will say at this point, you work at the shipyard, your wife is a teacher, you both are not making a living yet from Rogue Elephant.
No. I've thought about it, and I've not to the point where I'm ready to put in my notice at the shipyard, because the nice thing about doing this and not having to pay bills and hire people is I can really focus on quality, and if you control the size of the business, you won't have to worry about the economics and getting a cheaper bean because
you're competing more.
Right, or doing economical blends. I don't want to get into that. Actually, since we've been in business, we're buying nicer and nicer coffees because we can, and I've got a really nice Ethiopian at home right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Well, let's also say now, maybe however long ago it was, 2.5 years ago when I first stumbled across it in Norfolk, your coffee is available now in Hampton. Unfortunately, not at a farmer's market anymore, but tell us where we can get Rogue Elephant.
On this side of the water, you can go to Blend in Buckrow,
which is a wonderful coffee shop. And they not only serve it, you can buy the beans as well, right?
You can,
okay.
Yes. And and in Newport News at Primrose in Hilton Village. Over in Norfolk, we're at Westside and Five Points. And then Virginia Beach, Virginia Garden Organic, and Eco Trends.
Okay.
So, and we focus on the local groceries right now.
And that's good. That controls it, and you stand out. You're not, next to chain coffee.
Right.
Well, how many pounds are you roasting a week now? It's not in half-pound batches, obviously.
No. My roaster actually now It's comfortable roast is 4 pounds. So it's not even considered micro roasting. It's really nano. It's that small.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of micro roasters, they could do, I was reading about a micro roaster that was doing 80,000 pounds a year. We are only a couple thousand a year. So.
And do you know how much you want to grow?
I don't. You know, I didn't go to Harvard Business, so, you know.
It's still kind of a hobby, right?
It is. Yeah, I just focus on enjoying it. I just, you know, I want to continue enjoying doing what I'm doing, and it's nice to be able to do it that way and not stress about making ends, you know, and stuff like that. So I really don't know. I do, when I think about growing and doing it full time, I think about having my own coffee shop because I'm somewhat of a control freak, and I want to have total control from sourcing the beans to roasting the beans to brewing the beans. Of course, I can't do it all, but I would be there to instruct and train people. One of the big stress all roasters have is once they've finished roasting their beans, they hand it off to somebody to go brew it, and they could actually not do it right. And that could be a stress to a lot of roasters.
Gotcha. So you worry about what you do at home and what you serve, but have no control over the end product.
Right.
Wow, it's wonderful. I mean, I will say I've had
Thank
it.
you.
It's great, and it's wonderful to have a Hampton product and to be able to, you know, say that it is. And I think a lot of people don't know you're out there. So you may get some publicity after this. How can people contact you if they want to? I know I'm on your emailing list.
We do have a website. It's rogueelephantcoffee.com.
Okay.
It's very simple right now. We haven't really invested much into it. 5 static pages, I think. But you can see where we're located, where you can buy our coffee, and see what we currently have in stock. And right now, contacting us through email or text or call.
Okay, that sounds great. And of course, anyone can go to Blend and buy it there, which is located in Buckrow.
Yes.
Thank you, Will. I really appreciate you coming by and
Thank you,
sharing your
Robin.
story. I think a lot of us have these sort of ideas about starting a business. And for you, you know, it's a business, but you got to make that decision about whether it stays small and controllable and hobby-like or whether you really grow. And I appreciate that you're working your way through that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Robin.
And thank you for watching. I hope you've learned a little bit about a local homegrown business and also a little bit more about coffee. I know I have. Thank you.